mid-foot shot. Oh my!
Here to celebrate Georgetown! The Georgetown Raiders are Buckland Cup champions!
The Trenton Golden Hawks, the R.W. Hewitt Cup champions, are going to Coburn.
Back to Minerva. Shot scores! And the Coburn Cougars are the Royal Bank Cup champions!
Hockey fans around 16 Mile Creek have waited 9 years to hear it. Your Oakville Blades, OJHL Buckland Cup champions.
Well, the top junior A players in all of Canada descended upon Hamilton last week for the CJHL Top Prospects game, and we've got all the action coming up. This is the OJ Today. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Alex Bastiavansky. Mother Nature was in a foul mood last weekend and caused lots of game postponements, but we've still got a ton to show you today. As mentioned off the top, the best of the best from the CGHL faced off in the annual Top Prospects game. Now, NHL scouts jammed the Dave Andreychuk Arena in Steeltown to take it all in. 9 OJ players were named to the Eastern squad, the most of any league in the country, and they shone on the brightest stage. Game highlights now brought to you by BioSteel. BioSteel is the official isotonic beverage of the OJHL. This is one of the biggest events on the calendar in Canadian Junior A hockey. The OJHL had 4 players ranked in the NHL midterm rankings playing in this game, but it's the West that hits first. First period, Alex Young of the AJHL's Canmore Eagles bangs it home on the doorstep, and he makes it 1-0 for Team West. Late in the first, Mitchell Benning, son of former NHLer Brian, wires it home to make it 2-0 for the West. Second frame, with the score 3-0 for the West at this point. December's Warrior Northwest Hockey Player of the Month, Matteo Costantini, getting the East on the board onto the final stanza. With the score 5-1 West, it's 2 OJHLers hooking up. Ryan Teverberg to Cole O'Hara. That cut the deficit to 3 goals. The West would make it 6-2 when Finn Brown of your St. Mike's Buzzers goes bottle hunting. That cuts it to 6-3. The East would add one more to make it a 6-4 final, but the score really is beside the point in this one as the players show their stuff in front of dozens of NHL scouts. Okay, this was probably the biggest game of the weekend. Wellington is chasing Trenton for first place in the East. The Golden Hawks, though, put a bit of distance between them and the Dukes lately. Dukes draw first blood, though. Frank Fatucci, how many times have we seen this all season? Rips it past Anand Oberoi to make it 1-0 for the home squad. But Trenton hits back on the power play. New addition Sullivan Sparks tips it home out front. Acquired at the trade deadline, and he's got major junior experience, and it shows. He ties at 1-1. 5 minutes later, Matt Dunsmore makes the initial stop. Dalton Bancroft banging home the rebound, and he puts the Jayhawks into the lead. Second frame, all kinds of Trenton pressure here. Dunsmore makes a stop. He can't seem to find it, though. Griffin Fox finds it first and makes it 3-1 for the Jayhawks. Wyatt George would add an empty netter in the third as Trenton has started to pull away a bit in the East, although the Dukes still have 5 games in hand. This was a huge matchup, too. The South leading junior Canadians hosting Burlington, who was second in the West. JRCs just keep rolling, though. Claudio de Gasperis rips a beauty top shelf to make it 1-0 Canadians. That was the score after 20. Second frame, Jacob Kelly with the itchy trigger finger. Bang! Wiring it past Christian Mattiacci. It was 1-1. The JRCs really turned it on then, though. Matt O'Brien hammering it top shelf to give the home squad back the lead. They nearly went up by 2, but check out the heroics by Max Wright. Post to post in a jiffy, as Joe Montezano likes to say. You will see that again in the plays of the week. I guarantee it. Toronto just too much on this day, though. CJ Clark continuing to torture opposing goalies. He makes it 4-1. The teams would trade goals after that as the JRCs continue to impress. They down the powerful Cougars 5-2. Get the Georgetown Raiders in Stouffville to take on the Spirit. G-Town desperate for points as they chase a playoff spot, but Holden Doggett gets the Spirit on the board first. The Raiders even it up. Grant Spence shovels home the second chance, ties it up at 1 apiece. But then, keep your head up.
For the Raiders. Oh my! Andre Anadia blasters Candata to the ice.
Andre Anadia, the bone-crushing open ice hit. Adding insult to injury, it's Anadia bulging the twine as well, making it 3-1 Spirit in the second. And in the third, they kicked it into gear. Beautiful passing here. Luke Strickland, roof daddy past Nathan Torkia. Stouffville stays ahead of Pickering by a slim margin. They down Georgetown 5-1. 60-second Spotlight is brought to you by Warrior Hockey. Warrior, the official hard goods supplier to the OJHL.
Matthew Falls, forward, Toronto Junior Canadians.
There, in front, Falls, shot scores! Matthew Falls!
I think every shift, what I bring to the game is just a hard work ethic, good puck mover, good in the corners, battling with my teammates, and just overall all-around game and 200-foot player. When I think of this team, I think we got a great group of guys here. A lot of depth up front and on defense, 2 great goalies, and a lot of guys who like to have fun off the ice, but when the puck drops, we're all dialed in and we know what our job is. This year, I think our team, the ceiling is the championship. I mean, anything else but that is a failure for us, but definitely a finals matchup against whoever's in the East, and I think we can come out on top.
Matthew Falls doing what he does best.
This portion of the OJ Today is brought to you by Q-Collar, official safety partner of the Ontario Junior Hockey League. And welcome back to the OJ Today. You know, it feels like a record skipping and repeating itself over and over and over again, but the Mississauga Chargers find themselves in a familiar position right now. The franchise has come oh so close to making the playoffs the past few seasons, only to come up just that little bit short in the end. In fact, 2014 was the last time the Chargers were in the postseason, and don't think for a second that isn't on their mind as they enter the last few weeks of regular season play. We take a closer look now at the Chargers in this week's Team Spotlight. To put it simply, the Mississauga Chargers are a team nobody wants to face. They may not boast a winning record, but opponents are always pretty much guaranteed a tough matchup every time. Mississauga may not always win, but they'll leave you black and blue in the process. And they've scored some huge victories over the OJ's top squads this season.
Yeah, I think it's some of the wins that we've had. We've beaten some good teams, Oakville, Junior Canadian, St. Mike's. I don't know if teams take us lightly. We just, we have some good players here this year, and the league is so tight, especially our division. It's really close. So we got to come in and work hard and grind it out every night. I'm really happy with our team overall. We've had some, serious injuries which have hurt us a little bit and a little bit inconsistent. But generally, we have a hard-working team and a real tight-knit group of guys, and I really enjoy coaching them.
The Chargers have been led by a top scorer that nobody saw coming. Last season, Matteo Pecchia didn't record a single point with the North York Rangers before being traded to the Chargers. Well, this year, he leads the team in points and was named alternate captain by head coach Joe Washkarak.
Matteo Pecchia has just been great for us this year. He came last year in the Brandon Niemann's trade, and he didn't have a lot of points before he came here. He broke his wrist at the start of the season, so he was off to a rocky start, but I know he worked extremely hard during the summertime, and he's just been great for us, another good leader, and we're really, really happy to have him.
Devlin Shanahan is Mississauga's captain. He's also a goalie in the National Lacrosse League for the Buffalo Bandits, so he split time between the two leagues this season, and to say he comes from good stock would be putting it mildly.
Yeah, Devlin Shanahan just really had a great year. I think he's at close to a point a game, if not, and just heart and soul of our team. I think this is his third or fourth year in the league, and he comes with a good family with his his dad Brian playing a pro lacrosse player, and his uncle Brendan being a Hall of Famer and running the Leafs. So, Dev's a great leader, and he's really been the glue behind our team so far this year.
Matthew Sopp has been one of the top rookies in the OJ, just 16 years old. He's a draft pick of the Kitchener Rangers and is still weighing his options for next year.
He's just a confident 16-year-old out there. He's able to make plays out of virtually nothing. He's very skilled, very high hockey IQ. You might not see it, but he's a pretty big guy. Able to pass, able to shoot, stick handle, has all the traits to be a successful hockey player in this league for sure.
The Chargers are coached by Joe Washkarak, now in his 8th season as bench boss for Mississauga.
Yeah, Joe is a great coach, tells us when we're doing things wrong and how to correct them. And I couldn't have asked for a better coach this year. He's been motivational in every way, and it's just really helped me develop this year.
Chase Stracheluk has been another standout rookie, sitting 3rd in team scoring, and the Chargers have gotten a strong performance between the posts by veteran keeper Jack Irvine. 2014 was the last time Mississauga made the postseason. They either need to catch North York for 4th spot in the South or hope to surpass Whitby to gain the Southeast crossover wildcard game. Either way, that is the immediate goal for this squad.
And we definitely talk about it. These guys want to be the team that turns it around. Just like 5 years ago, those guys wanted to be the team, and I think it was 9 or 10 years before that. So, man, every game's a grind, and we have some really good teams, not in our division, and just the league in general is really, really close. So, we still got 30-some games to go, and, we're just going to work hard and see what happens at the end of February.
Yeah, we do go over it. It's been a while since the Chargers have made the playoffs, but we think Joe and coaching staff, and along with all the team, thinks we have the team, we have the skill, we have the personnel to make the playoffs this year and make something happen out of it for sure.
Okay, the CJHL came out with their top 20, and here's the new list. Brooks still leads the way, followed by Sherwood Park. Oakville in 8th now, Trenton in 12th, Wellington 17th, and the Trenton Golden Hogs in 18th. And the Junior Canadians, after suffering 2 losses last week, get dropped from the top 20. I have a feeling they'll be back, though. The Fan Favorite Award, the Scotia Fan Favorite Award, powered by Snapped. Voting is on. Here is your current top 5. Jason Stashelback, Kyle Ballers, Carter Talk, Ryan Teverberg, and Tyler Ignazito of Collingwood. Head to ojhl.ca to vote for your favorite OJ player. And a reminder, the Game of the Week returns. Unfortunately, the one in Cobourg was canceled due to bad weather. But things are back on again. And, of course, it all wraps up February 22nd up in Collingwood with the Stouffville Spirits heading there to face the Collingwood Colts. This segment of the OJ Today is brought to you by Troy Hockey. Troy, the official apparel provider to the OJHL. And welcome back to the OJ Today. The Pickering Panthers have been the best team in the OJHL over the past couple of months. The Cats have lost just a single game since the start of December, and here to talk about their stellar play via Skype is Pickering Panthers announcer Alex Bloomfield. Alex, welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having me on again.
Yeah, you are the man, like I said, to talk to about Pickering. And, it still blows my mind how well the team has been playing. And the last time the Panthers won a title was all the way back in 1985-86, that season in the old Metro Junior B League. They are not a traditional power, but, man, they have really done a tremendous job this season. What's been happening there?
Yeah, it's been a long couple decades, really, in Pickering.
Yeah.
weird season. We'll talk about the season in a second, but I mean, in the 5 years I've been there, this is the most exciting time it's been to be in Pickering in general for the hockey team. They're just rolling. The season started very odd, of course. There was the removal of Dave DeMarinis as head coach for Rob Pearson 2 games in, and there was no immediate turnaround as a result of that. Obviously, it was only 2 games into the season, 2 losses as it was, but it took a couple months for things to change. Obviously, the big change is the goaltending. Brendan Bonello comes in. That is the clear marker where you see this team really turn the corner.
Right.
But there is some stuff working in the background before that, and so like there's it's tough to put a finger on it, but there's players coming together, and then it's confidence. Once you get a few in a row, they're just a confident group right now. They've been rolling in some big numbers.
Yeah, they absolutely have. And you mentioned Bonello. Brendan Bonello has been lights out between the posts. The numbers off the charts good, and we're going to show those numbers on screen in just a second here once we roll the video. But just tell us about Bonello and what he's meant to this team.
Yeah, he came in from the Kingston Frontenac, so come down from Major Junior to finish out his junior career here. Big pickup by the Panthers late November, and from the minute he came in, you could just see he was a different quality of goaltender than the Panthers have enjoyed for the past decade, and he shut teams down. He did it. He's one of those goaltenders who doesn't look like he's putting out a lot of effort to do it. He's a little Carey Price-esque in that sense, where he kind of looks bored as he's playing goal, which is good. But he's been really he was incredible in the month of December. It was less than like a goal and a half a game for a stretch there. He had 3 shutouts, and it was just seemed like he was doing it lackadaisically. And that has been the single thing that has made Pickering, if they were going to be a mid-range playoff team, it has now made them a top-range playoff team because of him.
Agreed. He has been so good. And Rocco Andriacci, did I say that correctly? I like to roll my R's a little bit, It's my French immersion training from when I was
We'll have to ask Nick Fiore.
But he leads the team in scoring by a fair margin. He's an OJHL All-Star. Extremely difficult to contain. Tell us about Rocco.
He's a pure shooter. There are a few of them actually left in the OJHL. I noticed it from the second he came to Pickering this season, and he's been consistent. He has not turned it on with this streak. He's been consistent since day 1 of the season. Even when he was the only one scoring, he was still scoring. He's just a laser of a shot. You can't do anything to stop it, really. If he's in the slot, he fires it. It's a good chance it's going in. So he's just up there as far as elite shots in the league. So you have that, and a power play scorer as well. He's lights out on the power play. Andriacci is, and he's got help on that power play now with the addition at the deadline.
Right, and let's talk about those additions because, obviously they didn't stand pat. They made moves to bolster the squad up to the trade deadline. A few big acquisitions. Let's talk first about Christos Rodis from the Brampton Admirals.
Yeah, so that's the big one. Definitely the huge one. It was not expected. I expected them to pick up a defenseman down the stretch. That was the talk all around heading up to that. They needed a sort of another back-end depth defenseman, but they got the opportunity to pick up an elite scorer, and you can't turn that down. So with Rodis and Andriacci, you have basically 2 of the top 3 power play scorers in the league, so it's a deadly power play now, and they can score wherever. Rodis is a different scorer than Andriacci, though. He can shoot, he can score straight up like Andriacci can, but not as often, and he's the guy that will actually go to the hard places. He'll score the Tavares-type goals, he'll tip a lot in, he'll poke them in from an inch over the goal line. That was actually his first Pickering goal, was literally tapping it. The puck was sitting on the goal line. He poked it across. He goes to hard areas, and he gets a lot of goals as a result. Yeah,
he paid dividends right away in that first game against Aurora with 2 goals, like you mentioned. Finally, the Bull twins, Shane and Noah, are back. They played in Whitby last season, went to the NAHL at the start of this year. They've returned now. They're playing with the Panthers this year. What have they meant to Pickering since they picked him up?
Yeah, Shane is an elite playmaker. It took him a couple weeks to get back into the swing of things in the OJHL, but now he's very bold at the puck in the offensive zone. He's one of the best passers I've seen with the Pickering Panthers over the past couple of seasons. Noah Bull is your prototypical penalty killer. Not that he's only a penalty killer, but he digs. He is always moving his feet. It was actually funny. The 2 Bulls ended up in the penalty box together at a game recently on the same shift. They were in a scrum together on the ice. It's kind of a funny clip. The 2 of them following each other into the penalty box alone. That was kind of odd, but a rare occurrence as well. But yeah, they've been a big addition for the Panthers as well, and picked it up as the streak has caught on.
Yeah, and not scared to get their nose dirty, like you mentioned as well. They like to get in there. They're in the scrums. Really quick question, Alex. We've got let's do 35 seconds here. Prediction: does Pickering overtake Stouffville at the top, and does Pickering end up as the North champion this year?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Two matchups left between them.
Yeah.
So that's not a whole lot of games. So I think Pickering needs to win both if they're going to do that. The Stouffville Spirit are playing good hockey as well, and points in the bank matter more than games in hand, and they do have the points in the bank. The Panthers have a lot of games in hand as it stands right now. Looking at their schedules, they're equal-ish in strength, and the Spirit, they're not nearly as hot as Pickering, but they're a good team right now. They have just as hot a goaltender with David Beaver, so you know what, I could see it being very close. Despite Pickering's extreme trajectory, Stouffville's held them off, and there's not a lot of time left, so I could see it coming right down to the wire.
I can't remember the last time I was this excited about watching a North down the stretch. The North Division is fascinating this year. Thank you so much for your expertise once again, and I'll see you on the weekend for the CHCH Game of the Week.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, more OJ Today coming up in just a moment. This segment of the OJ Today is brought to you by Scotiabank. Scotiabank, the official bank of the OJHL. Welcome back to the OJ Today. So earlier in the show, we featured the Mississauga Chargers and their desperate attempt to grab that final playoff spot in the Southeast. Well, Sunday presented a perfect opportunity to gain ground on the team they're chasing in the South Division. North York sat 5 points ahead of the Chargers in fourth spot heading into the contest, so this was a massive tilt for both squads at Herb Carnegie Arena. The Chargers know their window of opportunity is closing with just over a month left to play in the regular season, and they played like a desperate team in this one. They had to. First period, Mateo Pecchia, no style points for this one, but no worries, it's in anyway. 1-0 for Missy. Second period, they would add to it. Chase Stracheluk has been huge for the Chargers in his rookie season, and he keeps it going. Sniping it past Eli Schiller to put Mississauga up by a deuce. North York cuts into the lead, though. Gorgeous passing here. Watch as they go tic-tac-toe. Daniel Petrecchia, the easy tip-in out front, and that made it a 2-1 hockey game. Back came the Chargers, though. Schiller makes the initial stop. Nicholas Cordero, the wraparound, and the score was 3-2 at the break. Matthew Sopp made it 4-2. Mississauga before Jonas Leas beats Jack Irvine to cut it to 4-3, but Cordero puts this baby to bed late, hitting the empty net, and while the Chargers needed that win, pulls them to within 3 points of the Rangers. It should be fascinating to watch them down the stretch. Patriots visiting St. Mike's, and the Pats had won just 4 of their last 10, and this is not the start they were looking for. Brad Summers on the break. Roof Daddy. 1-0 for the home squad. The Pats just looked disinterested in the first. Giving it away here. Tom Sinclair pounces on it, and he makes it 2-0 for the double blue. Late in the first, Ian Devlin just kind of floats it in from the points. He hits pay dirt. 3-0 St. Mike's at the break. Second stanza, some hope for the Patriots. Jackson Alexiev, nice solo effort, and he cuts it to 3-1. St. Mike's was just too much, though. Nick Inero, a wicked snipe, top corner. St. Mike's gets the points as the Patriots continue to have problems. 6-4, buzzers your final. Okay, the Collingwood Colts are trying to hold off Markham for third spot in the North. They were in Aurora to face the Tigers, all heard. And this one, already up 1-0, Patrick Brown sprung up the middle. He makes it 2-0 Colts. Collingwood on the power play in the second. Adrian Neighbors will get credit for that one. And it's 3-0 for the visitors, and then it's Neighbors finding Christian Taylor, who finds the back of the net. They would add 2 more after that as the Colts dominate the Tigers, taking this one 5-0. Now, I mentioned Markham is trying to catch Collingwood in the North. They were in Milton on Sunday. This one may have been redirected. Regardless, Chris Ismail floats it over the shoulder of Nick Stofchek. 1-0 Menace. Second stanza, Owen Forrester tees it up and has at it. Finds the back of the net, and it's 2-0 Milton. Markham cuts into it. Tyler Davis going hard to the net, beats Forbes Anderson to make it 2-1. They kept getting close, but Milton just held them off each time. Aiden Hughes cleaning up the mess out front. Milton holds off the Royals. doubling them up 4-2. Okay, the Whitby Fury are trying to hold on to that final playoff spot in the Southeast. They hosted Lindsay. First period, Bryce Carrick opens the scoring for the Muskies on the nice solo rush there. Whitby would counter, though. Riley Gerard passed Oliver Webster to even things up at 1 apiece, and then Ethan Doyle just unloads. Huge slapper that beats Webster to put the Fury up 2-1. Second period, Whitby adds some insurance. Patrick Gone tickling the twine as the Fury pick up some much-needed pointage. They take it 3-2, and for now, hold that last playoff spot in the Southeast. And let's take a look at the standings, brought to you by Jostens, the official ring and award supplier to the OJHL. In the West, Oakville, 6-point bulge now over Burlington in second, followed by Buffalo, Georgetown, Brantford, and the Milton Menace. In the North, that's going to be fascinating to watch until the end of the year. Stouffville, 3-point lead over second place, the Pickering Panthers. In the South, the Junior Canadians, 4-point lead right now over the Patriots, followed by St. Mike's, North York, Mississauga, and the Brampton Admirals. And in the East, Trenton, 7-point lead over Wellington, but keep in mind, you see there, Wellington with 5 games in hand still to try to make up that difference. Top 5 brought to you by Cliff Bar, the official energy bar of the Ontario Junior Hockey League. Number 5, Bryce Carrick of Lindsay fights off 2 Whitby players and roofs it past Connor McKenzie for the nice finish. Number 4, North York against Mississauga. The Rangers, nice passing. They go tic-tac-toe. Daniel Petrecchia tapping it home on the doorstep. Number 3, Stouffville against Georgetown. Give and go by the Spirit and Luke Strickland. Roof Daddy on Nathan Torquia. Number 2 here, Max Wright of Burlington making like Gumby and stretching all the way over to deny the JRC's a sure goal. One of the better stops we've seen all year, and I'm not entirely sure how Max kept that one out. Very nice save. Number 1, back to Stouffville, a shining example of why you need to keep your head up on the ice. Ouch. Andrew and Nadia nearly takes Jaden Condatas as a souvenir. Massive open ice collision. Maybe the hit of the year. Definitely, though, our Cliff Bar play of the week. And that's it for today. All out of time. But just a reminder, you can always keep up to date with everything that's going on in the league by heading to ojhl.ca. And of course, all of your social media options are there for you to explore as well. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week.